Alright guys, today I thought we'd talk a little bit about dates. You know, they're an interesting fruit for sure. Very common and popular in people who eat a fruit-based diet. I certainly eat dates almost every day. And so today I thought I'd talk a little bit about the pros and the cons of eating dates. So here in Norway we get a few different types of dates, but this is the one that I buy the most, and they're pretty fresh, and that's a factor. I'll get into that. Let's just first talk about dates. What are they? Well, they are desert fruits, right? They grow on a palm in dry type climates. So I mean, if you strictly speaking, we probably didn't evolve eating too many dates. I mean, we are from the rainforest. I mean, our ancestors going back way back. We come from the rainforest. We're fruit eaters. We eat fruits from the jungle. So I don't know if we evolved with these particular fruits. And looking at them from a nutritional point of view, I guess I'm jumping straight into the sort of the cons about dates right now, and then we'll get to the pros later. So one of the cons is that when you're looking at it from a nutritional point of view, it sort of falls short a little bit on some things. Like it's extremely low in fat, which is not a good thing. I mean, if you ate only dates, you would get only like 2 or 3% of your calories from fat. It's not really that good of a source of essential fats and that sort of thing. So I would probably want to more rely on something like bananas, and particularly mangoes and papayas and jackfruit, tropical fruits that are a bit more juicier. The other thing about dates is that they're extremely concentrated, which is not really, I mean, in some way it's a pro, but it's also a con. If you're eating a meal of dates, I find that that's just a little bit too concentrated for me. I'm not really enjoying to eat. It's not really enjoyable for me to eat 1,000 calories of dates. I much more want to rely on something like bananas, mangoes, something with a bit more water content in it, and a little bit of a broader nutrient profile as well. I wouldn't recommend dates as a staple on your diet in terms of like calories. Like if you're eating 3,000 calories a day, I would probably look at dates shouldn't probably make up more than about 10% of your diet in terms of calories, something like that. And because it's so concentrated and so low in water, it sort of just digests a little bit heavy in my experience. Like it just feels a little bit dense. I like to have something a little bit more water rich, and also something that fills my stomach up a little bit more. Because of course satiation has to do with calories, where dates are great, you know, really concentrated carbohydrates, concentrated sugar source. So it's very satiating in that sense, but it's not very filling. And that's the other thing that triggers our satiation response, and that is filling up our stomach. And the dates fall a little bit short on that end. And of course they do sort of stick to your teeth a little bit more, like dried fruit typically does. Now, there are different dates though. You can find dried dates, which I typically avoid, and then you can find fresh dates, which are pretty soft and gooey even. This is not super soft, but it's still fairly soft. There's some water in there. And if you really find some really soft fresh dates, they can be super squishy, and that's a good thing. So they're probably better than the dried variety of dates. Now, what about pros? Because there are certainly some pros. There's a reason why I actually do eat dates almost every day, right? Well, they're such a convenient caloric top-up. You know, because I typically focus my meals or my eating around 3 meals. So I have breakfast, I have lunch, and I have dinner. Breakfast and lunch typically is fruit, mostly bananas. And then for me right now, dinner is sweet potatoes, cooked potatoes, lentils even, that I'm experimenting with right now. So that's really my diet. And then at other times, so if I'm in the tropics or something like that, I might have mangoes for dinner. Those are my meals. But then in between the meals, you know, there's the snack sometimes. Because sometimes I might approach my dinner time, and personally I like to have like scheduled times, because I live a quite a structured life. I work, I train, So I like to sort of have dinner at more or less the same time every day, breakfast and lunch, the same thing. And so if I'm approaching my dinner time and I'm hungry before dinner, it's still an hour away from dinner, rather than just eating dinner early, I will have a snack that will keep me until my normal dinner time. And that's when dates are really practical. Now, they're practical, they're convenient food, they're convenient food. If I'm heading out somewhere, if I'm doing something, if I'm going to a party, tomorrow I'm going to a party, a friend of mine. I don't go to parties very often, but I'm going to a party tomorrow, that'll be cool. And I'll eat dinner beforehand, but I never know if I will get hungry when I'm there. I'm gonna stay up a little later than usual. I might suddenly get hungry. It might not be anything to eat around there. So what I'll do is I'll bring a few dates in my pocket, and I'll just have that as a sort of backup little snack, if I need it. And that's something I really enjoy about dates. You can bring them with you anywhere. They're so lightweight, they're so concentrated in calories, which makes them also good for, like, if you're going on a hiking trip, right? Going out to hike, bring some dates along, especially if you have access to water along the way. Well, because you need to drink more water if you're just eating dates, as opposed to eating bananas, which are higher in water content. So if you can access water during your trip, then dates are a great way to sort of keep your backpack light. They're also a good training food. If I'm heading out for an easy run and I want to bring along some food, I'll just bring some dates in my pocket, in my backpack or whatever, and I'll eat that on my run. So it's really a good fast food, quick, fast, and it's also fast in terms of your energy. That's another pro. It actually gives you a lot of calories in a concentrated manner, which for a lot of people when they're beginning on a raw food diet or beginning eating a lot of fruit, it's difficult for them to get enough calories because you have to eat such a large volume of food suddenly now. You're used to eating bread and these things that are very concentrated, and now suddenly you're eating lower calorie foods like fruit, and that can be a challenge for some people. And of course, over time your stomach volume adjusts and you're able to eat the necessary volume of bananas or mangoes or whatever. Alright, so let's sum it up just at the end here. Dates are great because they're convenient. You can bring them with you everywhere. They're a concentrated calorie source. They're delicious, of course. I mean, that's a huge factor. They're delicious. And they're just great as a sort of snack to just top off your total calories for the day. Now, there's a few cons, of course. Sticks to your teeth a little bit. You gotta rinse your mouth afterwards. That's pretty important. They're not really nutritionally adequate in and of themselves. I find them pretty less than ideal when it comes to nutrient profile. Actually, I would probably prefer, if it's like a huge thing and you realize you have to eat like 30% of the diet is like dates, I would probably recommend that you do cooked sweet potatoes instead. Cooked sweet potatoes, in my opinion, are actually more closely matching our nutrient needs than something like dates. Okay, so might want to consider that. And then lastly, the fact that they're so concentrated, low in water content, means that you're not able to sort of fill up your stomach, and they're not as satiating. They can be a little bit too concentrated for a full meal. But if you're just, having a few dates here and there as a sort of snack in between meals, or even part of a meal, eating a meal of bananas and dates, that's a really good combination as well. So I want to hear your thoughts about dates. Please comment down below. Do you eat dates? Do you like them? Do you hate them? What are your thoughts on dates? Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, of course. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. You can go to our website at sweetnaturalliving.com, send me an email there to the contact form. And of course, check out my book, The Little Banana Book, where I talk about how to eat bananas for succeeding on a fruit-based diet. How to ripen them, how to store them, how to buy them, why they're so important, and that sort of thing. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. See you around.